Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. In the last episode, we took care of the Great Bay Temple, and off-camera went ahead and grabbed some spring water and some magic beans, which we will be using much later on in the episode. But as for this episode, there's going to be a lot of mopping up of other things that we need to do before we reset time, and that means there's going to be a lot of backtracking. Now, when I said that there was backtracking in the Great Bay Temple, there was a little, a fair amount of backtracking. There is going to be a lot of backtracking to be done in this episode, so I will meet you guys after I pick up the Moon's Tear, and I'm cutting this out because I've already shown you where to get it. I will meet you guys there. And here we get the Moon's Tear once again. Now, you might be wondering why we would need to get this, and by the way, I'm just going to go ahead and warp back to Clocktown because we need to go back to Honey and Darling's shop for the third day. But the reason we need the Moon's Tear again is because you might remember that we traded it to that one Deku for the land title deed in Clocktown. We're going to have to take that land title deed and pretty much go on a big trading adventure throughout the land to a bunch of other Dekus, and eventually we'll end up with an actual prize that we can use instead of a bunch of land title deeds. But that's going to be a much later on quest. Of course, we're going to finish it in this episode, but it's going to take quite a while. Now, like I said, we're going to be going back to Honey and Darling. This is going to be the third day, so if I can finish the minigame here, and, if I succeed, we will be getting a heart piece. Now, you might notice on the walls that there are a bunch of targets, which means we're going to have to shoot all the targets with an arrow. Or arrows, I guess you could say. And not rice either, actual arrows. Anyway, of course we have to pay 10 rupees. If we lose, of course, we have a lot of extra rupees, so that's not that big of a deal. In this case, we're so early on in the day, this is actually kind of a stress-free run through the Honey and Darling minigame, and this is actually one of the easier ones, I think. The Bombchu basketball one, I forgot what they actually called it, and by the way, if you shoot them, they actually say that hurts. I thought that was kind of funny. But the Bombchu basketball one was actually kind of fun and easy. This one's a little bit more fun and a little bit more easy, I think. The targets are not moving so fast, so you can't hit them or anything, and since you have unlimited arrows, it's actually pretty easy. Now, we're going to be, like I said, getting a heart piece for this. We're going to be getting a lot of heart pieces in this episode. I wouldn't be surprised if we get, 15 or so by the end of this episode, or 15 heart containers, I should say, by the end of this episode, which means we're going to be getting a fair few, and we're also going to be getting a bottle or two before the end of this episode, but we got the perfect score 3 days in a row. That's all we need to get their final prize or whatever, and that prize is a heart piece. Now that we've done that, and I like that, I wonder if we're truly happy. I think that's kind of like the theme of the entire game, actually. Is anybody entirely happy? Or maybe that's just their theme. I don't know. Anyway, we need to go back to the laundry pool because we are also in the middle of all these other side quests we're going to be doing. We're also going to be rescuing those frogs with the Dongero's mask that I talked about earlier. Now, this is going to take forever because there are 5 frogs around the land that we're going to have to save, and 2 of them are deep within temples that we've already completed, so I'm going to have to redo parts of the Woodfall Temple and parts of Great Bay. We've already done Great Bay in the cycle, so that's not that bad. But if we talk to the frogs with the Dongero's mask on, they say, Dongero, it has been so long, and what has brought you all this way? So basically, Dongero is kind of like I've always imagined him as like the mafia leader of the frogs, and because winter had become eternal because of goats, all the frogs went away from the, those lily pads that we saw in the mountain village area. And now the winter is gone, we can go around and rescue our troops, if you will, and get them all to come back to the Snowhead, or the mountain village area. So we will be doing that before the end of the episode. Now, the only other thing that we need to do, or actually there's 2 more things, we need to trade the Moon's Tear for the land title deed, and I think, what I'm actually going to do? I'm going to cut out the sequence, because we've already seen this, and you might remember that it takes like an hour for him to fly in and fly out. And now he's gone and we have the land title deed. Like I said, it takes entirely too long for him to fly away. I don't know why they made that sequence so long, but he is gone and now we have the land title deed. The other thing that I kind of hinted at, or I don't think I even hinted at it, I just said we needed to do something else. That other thing we need to do is buy Bombchus. And you might really wonder why we would need Bombchus, because I don't think we've used Bombchus in the entire Let's Play so far. And the reason we're going to be using Bombchus, I think you guys will really enjoy this. You can use them to do a really cool glitch that I will show you near the end of the episode. I think it's going to be near the end of the episode. I will edit in a time right here if you want to go ahead and skip to that glitch, because I have a feeling this is going to be a really long episode. And if there's one thing that I want you guys to see, it will be that time, or that glitch. So, because I don't know exactly what time that's going to happen, I will edit in a time right there so you can skip to that glitch. Anyway, that glitch is really cool. That's why I'm spending so much time harping on it, and I think you guys will enjoy it. But we warped here to the Southern Swamp because there are a couple things we need to do here. First of all, we need to go talk to a Deku. You might remember a Deku up here that we talked to. I'm actually not even sure if we talked to him ever, but there is a Deku up here that we can talk to and give our town title deed. And if we do that, he will give us the swamp title deed. So I don't know if you have to talk to him as a Deku or a human Link, but I do know that later on, like for instance in the Mountain Village area, I'm just gonna go ahead and give him our land title deed and he will give us the swamp title deed in return. But later on, there are going to be other Dekus, like I was saying, the one in the Mountain Village area that you have to talk to as a Deku. The one in the Great Bay area you have to talk to as a Goron. I was never really sure if you had to talk to this first Deku as a Deku scrub or a human, but I'm almost 100% sure that you have to talk to him as a human, because if you talk to him as a Deku, I think he will just try to sell you magic beans. But anyway, he is gone now. I guess I'll just leave in this flying sequence, because that one seemed like it was a little bit shorter than the one in the Clocktown Deku, but that one, yeah, like I said, that one seemed a little bit shorter. The one in Clocktown takes like half an hour for him to fly away. But up here on top of this building, there is a piece of art. So now basically every time we give somebody our land title deed, I hope I make it to this platform over here. Okay, good. I was gonna say that would be embarrassing if I died just jumping off like that. But we will be getting a heart piece every time we give a Deku a land title deed. So we're gonna be getting 4 heart pieces out of this trading sequence. So that is a pretty good thing, because that is an entire heart container. But all the way over here on this log, I don't know how you're really supposed to ever see this. Maybe you would just see this like floating by on the boat or whatever. But there's a frog right here that we need to talk to. I already have my Donjoro's mask on my C buttons or whatever. All the frogs say the exact same thing, so unfortunately there's not like too much variation in what they talk to you about. But yeah, like I said, I'm not really sure how you're supposed to even really realize that there was a frog over here, because it's kind of out of the way and you probably wouldn't even think that you could walk in the swamp this far out, because when you're actually beating this area, you can't get by it unless you have the boat, so it's not like you could even explore. But actually, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned this, but those big Octoroks that were blocking the way, and I'm going to go ahead and sword the Mountain Village, by the way, but those big Octoroks that are blocking the way that the ship pierced out of existence, you can actually destroy them with your Zora fin. So if you have the Zora mask here, you can take them out that way and not have to worry about going on the boat cruise. But anyway, now that we are back in the Mountain Village, we are basically, it's high time that we get our sword back. We have gone a lot of time without having our sword, so let's go ahead and see what they have to say. I kept you waiting, but it's done, see? And it is done. We get a gold sword called the Gilded Sword, which is stronger than ever and will never break. There it is. We can't make a sword stronger than that. No matter how many times you use it, it will never lose its edge. Try it. Oh, I used up most of the gold dust. Just a tiny bit was left, so I got rid of it for you. So he took the rest of our gold dust. Oh well, because we have the Gilded Sword. And the Gilded Sword is about 3 times stronger, as far as I can tell, than the Kokiri Sword. And the reason I say this, I think I might have actually mentioned it earlier, in an earlier episode I should say, is because in the Majora's Mask Player's Guide by Nintendo Power, it says that it takes 12 slashes of your sword to kill a Dodongo, but if you have the Gilded Sword, it only takes 4. So I always took that to mean that the Gilded Sword is 3 times stronger, but it is not the strongest sword in the game, and we will see that probably fairly soon, actually. But all the way over here, you might wonder how we're supposed to get to that platform. We have had experience in Mountain Village earlier of going to places where it didn't look like we could go. So if we turn on our Lens of Truth, we will see that there are floating invisible ice platforms that you have to be kind of careful of, and by the way, there are going to be birds flying after you that really want to push you off platforms, but even still, we're kind of far away. But you might remember that we played a song at the Scarecrow, of course, the Scarecrow song. Actually, I'm not sure if this is the same one that I showed in an episode. I think I might have actually played this off camera, but you do have to play the Scarecrow song to the Scarecrow every time you reset a cycle. But anyway, here we get a piece of art. I always thought that was a fun piece of art to collect. I have to wonder if you could bomb hover all the way over to this platform. I have to imagine you could, so I'm not sure if I should mention that, because that's a little bit of a spoiler for the glitch that I'm going to be showing at the end of the episode. But we need to go back to the Mountain Village area, because we have to go talk to the Deku that is there, and that Deku is actually the one that sold us the biggest bomb bag, so I will meet you guys back there. And for giving him our swamp title deed, we get the Mountain Village title deed. I'm actually not sure if that's what it is called. I didn't actually catch it right there. Hopefully this flying away sequence doesn't take half an hour like the one in Clocktown. I don't think it will. But for doing that, we get access to yet another gold flower. There are not too many gold Deku flowers in the game, so it's kind of cool when we actually get to use one. But if we get up on top of it, of course, and go inside... okay, I was going to say, what is going on? I can't get inside. But if we fly up here, there is going to be yet another heart piece, and that is our second of the 4 heart pieces we are going to be getting for doing this land title deed trading sequence. Now, you might remember earlier, actually it wasn't that too long ago, or it wasn't too long ago, so it's not that hard to remember. We have been collecting frogs, so we need to go back to the Woodfall Temple and kill the frog in there. You might remember that it turned into a smaller frog. We actually have to go talk to him with our Donjoro's mask on, so I will meet you guys back in that mini boss room in the Woodfall Temple. Now, I do believe that is our 4th frog that we've had to save, and I thought it was kind of cool how you had to go back into, like, mini-boss rooms and stuff like that to kill frogs that turned into smaller frogs to get all the frogs back to the mountain village area. But this is our, you know, our 4th frog, like I said. Unfortunately, he doesn't say anything else. Like I said before, all the frogs say exactly the same thing. I will meet you guys back in the Great Bay area, and we'll take care of yet another thing. Alright guys, here we are back in the Great Bay. I like it, we're jumping around so much in this episode, but it pretty much has to be done. But anyway, over here there is a boat that we're gonna have to get on that was not there before we beat Georg and the Great Bay Temple. So now that the Dragon Cloud, or whatever the pirate said, is gone, we can come do this minigame. We have to have a hook shot to get over to the minigame, so of course you also have to do the Pirate Fortress, but as soon as you step on this boat, it will begin moving towards the island over there, and there's a tree on it that we will have to use our hook shot to get on. It's going to take a little bit of time to get over there, so I guess I will speed this up until we are able to get to the island. Well, that actually didn't take as long as I thought it was gonna take, but if we jump to the middle island here, we could talk to that guy, but if we jump to the middle island, he will explain how to play this minigame. Now, this minigame, I'll probably just explain it myself. You have to jump to the island with the lid torch, and if you do that, you get 1 point. The problem is if you fall off, you will have to start over. Luckily, they put you back up there on that platform to start over instead of having to get back on the boat. This minigame, I recommend using Z targeting to jump straight to another island. One way you can kind of cheese this minigame is if you get the infinite sword glitch, which I will explain a little bit later on. You can actually do a sort of a glitch where you can jump on an island, and it will give you multiple scores at one time, so you don't really have to worry about falling off. Also, once you have infinite sword glitch, you can't fall off a ledge, so it becomes impossible to lose this minigame. But this is going to take quite a bit of time, so I will meet you guys when I'm done jumping onto these platforms. And by the way, I don't know if I mentioned this, but you have to jump and get 20 points. So once I get 20 points, I will just stop for fear of falling off if I try to go for more points. And for completing that minigame, which was apparently a little too easy, you don't think we're just too good? I don't know. But for that, we get a heart piece, which I think is a fairly fair reward for completing that minigame, unlike the reward that we're going to get for getting all the frogs back. I don't mean to spoil anything, but I don't think it is really all that worth it for all the trouble that we're going to have to go through to get that heart piece. But up here, we're going to be getting another heart piece that you have to have that magic beans and those magic beans and the spring water that I mentioned back at the beginning of the episode. I went ahead and got that off camera because the other option would be me going back through the Deku Palace area to go talk to that one guy. I guess I could have talked to that Deku scrub and gotten it from him, but I didn't think about that before I started the episode, so I went all the way back to the guy in the Deku Palace. So that's why I wanted to speed it up, or, you know, just get it before the episode because it would have taken forever. But anyway, here we have a patch on the ground, which we have seen before in the Deku Palace, and to make a bean sprout out of this, we need a magic bean pod, and some spring water. Now, the only place I know to get spring water, the place I got the spring water, was actually in the hot springs in the mountain village, so it cooled off eventually, actually before the episode even started. I'm not sure where the closest place to here is to get any spring water, but also we're going to need our ocarina now, because not only do we have to do all the stuff we just did, we also have to play the Scarecrow song, because the Scarecrow will appear over there, I'm actually kind of waiting for Tattle to go back over there so I can, you know, be sure that the Scarecrow will appear. I guess Tattle doesn't want to go over there. I'm not sure if it will work from right here or not. I guess we can try it, but I thought Tattle had to actually be over there because you saw her fly over there and turn blue. Well, actually did. So I'm not even sure how you were supposed to know that that was over there. I mean, she did fly over there for a second. Maybe you were supposed to play it from the platform or the leaf platform or whatever. In any case, I thought that was a little bit cryptic almost, but anyway, we get a heart piece for that. So I guess, once again, that's kind of a fitting reward for what seems to be a little bit of a cryptic puzzle. So not only do you have to have the hook shot, not only do you have to have the magic beans and the spring water, you also have to have the Scarecrow song and know to play it right there. Now that we've done that, there is another heart piece that we can get using items over here. We have to go to a pool in the rocks over here, almost like a tide pool or whatever. Actually, I think that might be exactly what it is. Over here, there are a lot of fish. Now, you might remember me accidentally examining some of the fish in the marine research lab or whatever, and we need to collect, I think, 4 or 5 fish out of this pool right here and take it back to that lab and drop them in that aquarium that I kept accidentally checking. So, I will collect these fish and I will meet you guys back in the marine research lab. Alright, here we are back in the lab. If we examine it, which we've already done, it says that's a huge fish. I bet that thing can eat a small fish in a single bite. I only have 3 fish with me at this moment because we only have 3 bottles. So unless these 3 fish work, and by the way, when we do this and drop the fish in there, one of the fish will eat the fish that we dropped in there, and we'll see what happens once we get that fish to be big enough, because every time we drop a fish in there, the fish gets stronger or bigger when it eats it. But I don't know if 3 fish is going to be enough, because like I said, we only have 3 bottles, so it's not like I could have gotten any more. So if this fish right here does not do the trick, I will have to go back and get some more fish. Let's see if it works. Unfortunately, it did not. So I will meet you guys back here once I get more fish. Well, it looks like 1 more fish was enough to do the job, and for that we get a piece of heart, which I always thought was really gruesome, because if you think about it, that bigger fish, the one that's in there right now, I'm trying to examine it, I don't think I can, but that big fish right there ate the other fish and then spit out a piece of heart. I'm led to believe that that piece of heart came from that smaller fish that he ate, which, like I said, it always felt really gruesome to me. But we need to warp back to the Zora Cape area because we need to go get the 3rd of the 4 Deku scrubs, and this next one is inside of the Zora Hall area, so we need to go do that. I'm trying to think, oh yeah, I was gonna say, in the Nintendo Power, I keep saying that, in the Majora's Mask Player's Guide by Nintendo Power, they say that it takes 4 to 5 fish to get that heart piece to pop out. So I guess I got kind of lucky, if you want to call it that, because I only had to put 4 fish in there, but I have 2 extras. I don't think I'm gonna even use those for anything. Here in Zora Hall, you might remember back in Lulu's room, which is actually to the right, you might remember that I showed you guys that Zora, or that Deku thing, and there was a heart piece. You have to have the Goron area land title deed to get back up there. There's actually a glitch you can use. It feels like there's a glitch for everything in this game. You don't actually have to have the land title deed. You can actually do a glitch and clip up there without having to have the land title deed. So there, if you want to do that, you can, but I'm going to do it the legit way. If we talk to him, he'll say, of course, all this stuff. If we give him the, and by the way, I don't know if I mentioned this, you have to talk to him as a Goron, because I guess he knows it's legitimate. If you give him a mountain title deed and you are a Goron, he will give us the ocean title deed, which we will have to give to a Deku in an area we haven't even been to yet, but we will be getting there before the end of this episode. Of course, we're going to have to watch him fly away. I think there's a thing in the ceiling that he's going to fly into, if I remember correctly. And it looks like that hole is where he's going to go. I thought he was going to try and fly out the door, which, of course, they didn't do that, and that is kind of a good thing, because it wouldn't have made sense if they had tried to do that. But now that we've done that, we can turn back into a Deku and get up there. I would show you the glitch, or the clip to get up there, but I don't even actually know how to do it. I've just seen people do it. It's probably like a really specific angle that you have to jump off some of the scenery in this room to get. And by the way, what just happened right there reminded me. If you try to roll into a heart piece like that as a Deku, actually spin into it, I guess. If you try to roll into something, you will not pick it up, so you have to be kind of careful. When I was practicing for this episode, I rolled right off the roof of that one, the first one in the swamp, and I had to get all the way back up there, and I drowned, so I'm glad that didn't happen in this episode. But anyway, now that we've done that, we need to go back into the Great Bay Temple, to go back and collect that frog. I don't know why I didn't get this while I was in there, but you might remember after we defeated that one frog and got the boss key, we made one of the smaller frogs spawn. So I will meet you guys back in there when we collect that frog. Now, luckily, he's actually here. For some reason, I thought he might not be here if we made him spawn and ran away. Luckily, he is here, because if he wasn't, we would have died. Basically, all the time that I've wasted collecting all these frogs would have been just that, a waste, because we would have to do it on the next cycle anyway. But I don't know if I've ever shown this. If you use the Song of Soaring inside of a temple, you will warp back to the entrance. And I'm doing this to get back there quickly instead of going all the way back through the temple. What I'm going to do now, like I said, I'm kind of dedicated to cutting out all the backtracking in this episode. I will meet you guys back around where we played that rupee pot breaking game a couple episodes back near the Zora Cape, or the Zora Coast. And here we are back at the pot breaking minigame that I mentioned before. I thought I'd just pick it up here because this is pretty much where we need to go next, and I thought that would just be the best landmark that I could describe. But that last frog, I think I forgot to mention, if I'm not mistaken, that frog we just got in the Great Bay Temple is the final frog that we're going to have to get. So now all we have to do is go back to the mountain village and collect our prize. But we do have to get up on top of these platforms or whatever, and now that we have the hook shot, we can latch onto the trees. Now there is somewhere over here we can play the Scarecrow song. I guess this is just as good a place as any, and a Scarecrow will appear. I think you have, I'm not even sure if you have to do this. I've never really been sure the optimal way to get through this area, but I do know that there are a lot of rupees around this area, a lot of red rupees. So if you're low on rupees, you could probably do this and, you know, come up here and get a lot of rupees. I'm not really going to bother with most of them. I thought I should go ahead and show you this rupee right here because it's pretty easy to collect. But also from here, we need to get back over to that Scarecrow. I'm not sure if you can even latch onto it from this platform. I don't think you can. I guess I'll try. Yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to. Maybe if I get on the very tip of this edge. Well, I guess not. I guess we're going to go ahead and jump off and get it from the bottom. It looks like you would be close enough up on that platform. It looks like you would be too far under it, I should say, from the ground. But I guess it's just sort of like an optical illusion or whatever. But all we have to do at this point is get up to the... I cannot believe that didn't hit right there. But all we have to do is get up to the top at this point. Like I said, there's a lot of rupees and chests around here. If it's right in my way, like this one right here, might as well go ahead and collect it. I believe there might even be a hidden chest somewhere around here. I'm not even sure where it is, but I think I might have collected it, you know, back in the day or something like that. I could be mistaken. But otherwise, there is nothing that you really need to worry about around here. Up here in this area that we're about to go to, we're going to be getting a couple of prizes. The only thing about it is, it's going to take quite a bit of time because there are a lot of races that we're going to have to do that take quite a bit of time. If only because we have to do it like, I think 4 or 6 times. I think it's only 4. But anyway, each one of them takes like 2 minutes. So I think I might speed those up, but we'll see when we get there. But I think you guys will enjoy the combatants that we're going to have to race. Well, actually, I guess you probably saw them in that introductory little pan-over cutscene for the Waterfall Rapids area. We're going to be racing these beavers. We have to get the beaver down to the bottom of this area. I'm not sure how you're supposed to do it. I think we just Z-target him or, you know, get near him or something like that. Yeah, I guess that's all we had to do. He will swim to the bottom. Now, luckily, we do have the ability to walk on the floor of water bodies like this, or, you know, down there on the rocks with our Zora form. And if we do that, we can talk to the beaver and get these races underway. You again? You can't fool me with your green clothes. You want an empty bottle, don't you? You never learn your lesson. Coo, coo, coo. Okay, I'll give you one. But only if you can swim through all the rings in the river in under 2 minutes. So, do you want to try? Sure I do. There's a total of 20 rings. You must swim through them in the right order for it to count. Swim through the ring that's flashing. I'll show you the way, so follow me and don't get separated. Now, overall, this is a fairly easy minigame. You just can't miss too many rings. It kind of reminds me of Superman 64, if you guys have ever seen any videos of that. Luckily, the controls in this, somehow, this little minigame in Majora's Mask, are much better than that game. But since all it is swimming through rings, I think I will meet you guys on the other side. That was perfect. That's not good. Did you call me, little brother? I called you, big brother. Actually... What? An empty bottle? Yeah, an empty bottle. Don't worry, little brother. To us, empty bottles are a treasure. I can't give you one just because you beat my little brother. We can't just give you one. I'll give you one after you race once more against me. So will you try? Of course, I guess I'm gonna have to. The rules are the same, but this time there are 25 rings. Don't fall behind. He did it, little brother. Yeah, he did it, big brother. There's nothing we can do, little brother. This is a mess, big brother. Good thing for us, we get an empty bottle out of this mess. I'm not sure if there's going to be more dialogue. Of course there are. We underestimated you. Everybody in the game seems to underestimate us. That's not actually the only thing that we can get from this area. I don't know if you have to leave and come back, but I've always found that if you leave and come back, that the next part will be more likely to happen. Basically, I think I've tried this before. I could be wrong, but it seems like in my past experience that if you don't leave the area and come back, when you try and talk to them again to do the next set of races, which, yes, there are 2 more races, they will just talk to you instead of offering to race you. But like I said, I could be wrong, but just in case, I decided to just leave there and come back. He's back, little brother. Yeah, he's back, big brother. But we don't have any more empty bottles, do we, little brother? No, we don't have any, big brother. If you say you still want to race, though, that's fine. What will you do? I'll race. First, you have to start with my little brother. This time, the limit is 1 minute and 50 seconds. Don't fall behind. He did it again, little brother. He did it again, big brother. That's shameful, little brother. Now race me. What will you do? I'll race you. I've said it already 1,000,000 times. The limit this time is the same as it was for his big brother, 1 minute and 50 seconds. The only problem is we only have 25, or we have 25 races to get through. This, of course, is probably the hardest one. He's a formidable opponent, little brother. You're all just talk, yeah, big brother? If we give that to him, I wonder if he'll leave us alone, little brother. Yeah, I want to quit, big brother. Now, if I have to say brother one more time, I might just quit making videos altogether, but for that, we get a piece of art, which is a great prize for such an easy series of 4 races. But I'm gonna go ahead and warp to the Zora Cape, or the Zora Coast. I forgot what that one warp point is called. Guys, it is time for me to show you that glitch that I mentioned way back at the beginning of the episode. Apparently, it's actually called the Zora Cape. I had it right the first time. First, before we do that, I was gonna say I have to show you another glitch to even get there in the first place. Actually, I already showed you this in the Great Bay Temple. It's that one glitch where if you put the Zora mask on in the water, it will raise you up a little bit, and you can get to a platform that you're not supposed to get to quite yet. But we do have the hook shot, so this part would be easy even if but basically we can go through this place legitimately. If you were going for a speed run or whatever, at this point to get up into this fairy fountain to do the glitch that I'm about to do, you would not even have the hook shots. You would have to bomb hover from this platform that I'm on right now or the one I just got on, I guess, to the platform that I'm about to hook shot onto. But yeah, like I said, since we have the hook shot, getting to this platform is not the issue. And also, once we go into those rocks over there, which I should probably get, stop getting so ahead of myself. Up here, there is a series of rocks. Or actually, just 2 rocks, I guess, behind these rocks is a fairy fountain, and I'm going to go ahead and equip bomb chews and bombs in the Zora mask because we need these things to do the glitch that I was mentioning before. Now then, we have to wait for the bomb to blow that up. Actually, it's not really as epic as I made it sound right there, but once we get in here, since we collected all 15 of the fairies in the Great Bay Temple, we can come in here and talk to the Great Fairy herself. And I think I said we collected all the Great Fairies again. If I said that, I meant all the Stray Fairies, and we can reassemble the Great Fairy herself. I'm just going to go ahead and skip through all her dialogue, I guess. Basically, what she's going to give us is the reinforced hearts that we got in the first game, or in Ocarina of Time, which basically kind of doubles our damage, the amount of damage we can receive, basically. So I think she will explain it to us that enemies will do half damage. I guess that's technically correct, but essentially I consider it to be that we have twice the health. Anyway, that is going to pretty much, once you get that, the game is over, because it's really, really hard to die once you have reinforced hearts, especially once you have, I think we have 14 hearts at this point. If you have 20 hearts, yeah, right here, it says enemies now do half as much damage as before. That's what I was referring to. But once you have 14 hearts, you're pretty much golden anyway. On top of that, you have reinforced hearts, and once you have 20 hearts, you're pretty much invincible. But guys, it is time to do that glitch that I was talking about before. I think this is the coolest glitch in the entire game. Basically, what we gotta do is sword slash our way to this edge right here, and line up the camera just perfect. It's kind of hard to get it right. You have to line up the tip of that diamond down there that says final with like that second line from the left, turn around, put it down a bomb, turn around again, and put on our Zora mask, and hold down Z, and in the air, push up, and we will grab onto this pillar up here. Now this part right here is the hard part of the glitch, so hopefully I can get it. Basically, just sword slash twice, look to the right, line up with that line right there, and sword slash to the edge. Now we have to turn around, put a bomb down, and get infinite sword glitch. And I would mess it up on the first try, wouldn't I? Actually, it looks like I got it there at the very end. The problem with that is we have to get back up there. And if I run out of bombs, I can't actually show you the glitch. But I should probably explain what the infinite sword glitch is. Basically, the infinite sword glitch is if you interrupt a power crouch stab with another action. So the action that I'm interrupting it with in this case is the grab icon for the bomb. And once you do that, you have the infinite sword glitch, and if I can get this glitch right, you will be able to see what that glitch will allow us to do. Let's go ahead and try this again. This right here, like I said, is probably, actually I don't think I said this, I messed it up again. Actually, I got it. Unfortunately, I didn't get to backflip in time. After I get the infinite sword glitch, and I have my sword back in my hilt or whatever, and I have the bomb above my head, I have to backflip and drop the bomb at the same time. So as you can see, this is kind of a tough glitch, because if you mess up, you will fall off. But what I was about to say about the infinite sword glitch right there was that it is like a 1 or 2 frame glitch, which means that you have 1 or 2 frames to interrupt your sword slash with the grab animation. Now, that might not sound like a lot, or it might sound like a lot, depending on how familiar you are with glitches, but unless you get the timing just right, it will not work. But if I get it right, you should be able to see like a glowing glow, I don't really know how to explain it, around my sword. That was a really great way of explaining that. But anyway, oh, I got it on the first try right there. Okay, now, I need to backflip and bomb hover. This is, I think, the first time I've ever been able to show bomb hovering in an episode. But what I'm doing right now is bomb hovering. I need to go ahead and bomb hover a little bit higher so I can get over this wall to my left. If this was a real speed run, people would probably reset at this point. And I'm going to go ahead and do one more bomb hover to get a little bit more height. This is a really slow way of doing it. Like, if you're an actual speedrunner, you would do this much faster. But I am a casual speedrunner, so I just know how to do the trick. I don't do them that quickly. But guys, we are out in the middle of nowhere right now. We are in an unloaded area of the game. We're actually in the Ikana Fairy Fountain right now. You might not believe it, but that is where we are. But if we roll in this direction, we will go into the Ikana Canyon. For some reason, they have all of the fairy fountains on the same exact map. So you can bomb hover out of one into the next one and come to any of the other ones. So that is one way you can warp around the map very quickly. Now over here there is an owl statue, which I'm not going to hit right now because I do not want to mess anything up. I don't really want to benefit from this glitch in the Let's Play. I just wanted to show you because I think it's really cool. We are going to be coming here anyway. Actually, this was our next destination. So it's kind of cool that, you know, I kind of planned out the route, if you will, to make it this way. We had to come to the Ikana Canyon anyway. Another reason I don't really want to hit that owl statue is because I'm not sure if I hit the owl statue if we will get the cutscene that will play up here. So I don't want the game basically to think that we've already been to Ikana Canyon. And by the way, I just got hit by the blue skull or whatever. I'm just gonna go ahead and put on the Garo mask because we have a long way to go and might as well roll there. If you get hit by these blue bubbles, you will get hexed or jinxed. I can't remember the word they use. but your sword will basically be unable to be used. So right now I cannot use my sword. Anyway, I just thought that was a really cool glitch. I definitely want you guys to tell me what you think about that, because I think that might be my favorite glitch in the entire game. Anyway, once we go, I think I need to come back into this area over here. Those guys were knocking me down. I couldn't get in here. But once we come over into this area, which is the graveyard area of Ikana, we will be able to go back into the area I was just in, which actually we've been there already. When we saved that guy and got the stone mask, that is that area that we were just in, and I need to turn around and go back in there, because I need to reactivate that area. When you come in from the other direction, like that, like I did, because we were not supposed to be over there before we came to this area right here, the game will think that you've already been here, and this guy up here will not spawn. So I had to go in that graveyard area and come back here to reset things. But now that we are here, we need to go ahead and put on the hookshot and the Garo mask, and we can talk to this guy up here. I'm actually going to talk to him without the mask on first. Fortunately, we just happen to have the Garo mask. And what he will do is spawn a tree that we can latch onto with our hookshot, and this is the way that you are supposed to get up here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put on the Goron mask again and roll there, because we saw how long it took to walk here the first time, but you can see that the Garo mask is actually a required mask, because you would not be able to get up to this area legitimately anyway. You could, of course, use the wrong warp glitch that I used. You cannot get up to here legitimately without the Garo mask, so it's one of the few required non-transformation masks in the entire game. And one thing I think is kind of cool, right now we're getting the you've never been to Ikana Canyon before, let's do the pan around look, cutscene thing. Even though we have actually been here, we just got here the wrong way. So that cutscene only plays if you come from that direction. So I thought that was kind of cool. But here is the fourth of the 4 Dekus in that trading sequence. We need the Great Bay Area land title deed, and we need to be a Zora, and we need to talk to him, and he will give us, of course, since this is the 4th of the 4 Dekus, it's not like he's going to be able to give us another land title deed, because there are no more areas of the game. So in exchange for this, he will give us a gold huge rupee, which is worth 200 rupees, and that's kind of a waste for me almost, because I don't think I had 0 rupees, so we kind of wasted a few rupees in that, but it's not really that big of a deal. The good thing is here that we get the heart piece here, so now we never have to do this land trading sequence again, which actually it's not really that big of a pain, but sometimes it just feels like a little bit of a fetch quest. But if there had to be a fetch quest, I think this is a good way of doing that. And speaking of fetch quests, there are 2 fetch quests in the game that I'll probably actually do in the next episode that are even more annoying than that, and you'll see what I mean when we get there. But here is the 4th of the 4 Deku land trading sequence heart pieces, so we never have to do that again, like I said. But now that we have done that, we can continue on with this episode. The only other thing that I really want to do before the end of this episode is go activate that owl statue, so that when we reset time, I will be able to just warp back here and we can continue from this area on day 1. But together, this area is supposed to have the ice arrows and the hookshot, and I'm actually going to use both of those to get over there, because I feel like I've exploited the game enough. There is a way you can actually get over this little thing right here that I'm about to show you with only the hookshot. But like I said, I think I've exploited the game quite a bit already in this episode, so we're going to go ahead and shoot these Octorocks, or whatever they are, with the ice arrows. I don't know if I can, yeah, I guess I can. I was going to say, I don't know if I can shoot it through that block, but you have to shoot these Octorocks with ice arrows and jump over. How did I not land on that platform? Alright, here we are on the other side. Now, to get up here, there are a lot more trees. We've had experience with this already. We can use our hookshot to climb up this area. Now, I don't know where the other tree is. I guess it's behind me because it's not right there. Yeah, there it is. We have to use these trees to get to the very top. I guess I'm not actually hitting it, even though it looks like I am. But this is not really a surprise or anything. We've had to use trees. I'm trying to remember where we had to use a tree. I know we had to use one to get up there where that guy was with the Garo mask, but I think there was one that we had to use before that as well, but I could be mistaken. But now the owl statue has been activated. Before I end this episode, though, I might as well go ahead and shoot down Tingle, because he is around here somewhere, and we do have 200 rupees at this point. So, before I go deposit them at the Clocktown Bank, might as well go ahead and shoot him down and buy the map. Now, I was not actually really paying attention. I don't even realize where he dropped. Wow, that was pretty much a huge train wreck right there. I don't know what happened. I just kind of lost track of him, and I didn't see where he fell down on the ground. But in any case, we get the map of the Stone Tower, I believe is the name of this map. And of course, we get Tingle's magic words. So now we've bought pretty much every map in the game that I can think of. There might be... I really can't think of any more maps. There might be one more Tingle later on, but I would just hesitantly say that we've bought all the maps in the game. But I need to go back, like I mentioned before, to the Clocktown Bank and drop off all my rupees, because we have a solid, I believe, 180 at this point. I would hate to lose that, because I don't know if I mentioned this, there is a heart piece we can get later on by depositing 5,000 rupees in the bank, which 180 rupees is a fair percentage of that, and I would hate to lose that, and that's going to take a long time to get all 5,000. But after that, we might as well just go ahead and end the episode. First of all, because my voice is just about dead at this point, because I've been recording for like an hour and a half, but also because there's not really that much left to do in this cycle, because it is, of course, day 3, and there's like 3 hours before the... Oh, by the way, I just forgot. We have to go back and talk to the frogs. That would have been horrible if I forgot. I don't know why I didn't go back before and talk to them, but anyway, I don't even remember what I was saying anymore about ending the episode. Because we can't end the episode yet, we have to go back to the mountain village and talk to the frogs, because we have assembled our Mafia Frog crew there, and we need to talk to them and grab our fantastic prize that we got for going to, like, the depths of every dungeon, it seems like, and rounding up all the frogs. I think you guys are going to be blown away by the awesomeness of this prize. And by the way, we have to have the Dongero's mask on to talk to these frogs. I have been waiting for you, Donjero. Forgive me if I'm mistaken, but it looks like you've lost a little weight. As you can see, Donjero, the long winter has ended and spring has finally come to these mountains. Let us begin our chorus. The conducting was spectacular, and all of our members rose to the occasion. This is how deeply we were moved by your spectacular conducting. A piece of heart for like 8 hours of work. Actually, it wasn't really that bad, but if I had planned a little bit better and been a little bit smarter, we could have planned that route out a little bit better. But now I need to go ahead and play the Song of Time and return to day 1, because if I don't, we will get a game over. But guys, I want to thank you for watching this marathon session. It seems like the last couple episodes have been marathon sessions. But I want to thank you for watching this episode of Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, and I hope to see you guys back for the next episode.